All right, today we're diving into an AI that's built to solve a problem I know we've all felt. That completely overwhelming feeling when you're trying to learn something new online. Let's get into the C.O.D.E agent.
You know that feeling, right? You get that burst of inspiration to learn a new skill, maybe a new coding language or how to bake sourdough, whatever it is. But then, pretty quickly, you hit a wall, and that motivation just fizzles out. Well, what if I told you that wall isn't what you think it is?
It's not that there's a lack of information out there. No way. The real problem, the real barrier, is that there is just way too much of it.
And it actually has a name: decision overload. It's that analysis paralysis you feel when you're staring at a chaotic storm of 1,000 blogs, a million YouTube videos, and all kinds of contradictory advice. Honestly, it's the reason most of us give up before we even really get started. So yeah, this brings us right to the heart of the fundamental problem of learning in this day and age. Look, a search engine just doesn't cut it anymore. It can give you a list of links, sure, but that's not a learning plan. It retrieves information, but it doesn't build knowledge. It doesn't give you a clear path forward. And that's exactly why we need a totally different approach. We need what's called an agentic solution. Basically, an AI that can act on our behalf, not just spit back answers to our questions.
Instead of another tool, what we really need is a partner, a true strategic learning assistant, something that does more than just find stuff. It understands your goal, anticipates the hurdles, and literally builds you a roadmap to success. And that is precisely what the C.O.D.E agent is designed to be. Now, C.O.D.E stands for Curriculum and Objective Discovery Engine. Its number one job is to be that strategic assistant we were just talking about. Its core capability? To teach you pretty much any skill, simple or complex. And the ultimate goal? To generate a personalized, expert-level curriculum for you instantly.
Okay, so that sounds incredible, right? But how on earth does it actually pull this off? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside the agent's mind.
The whole system, everything you see here, is run by a single coordinator agent, and they've nicknamed it the Dean, which is perfect. Just like a dean at a university, its job is to orchestrate the entire process, manage the flow, and keep track of the whole conversation.
This 5-step process is really the brains of the operation. First, the intent classifier figures out what you really want to learn. Is it a hands-on skill or more of an idea? That's super important. Second, the analysis agent creates what's called a learning brief to map out all the key concepts. Third, the master librarian agent steps in to create a super focused research plan. Fourth, a bunch of research agents carry out that plan all at the same time, which makes the whole thing incredibly fast. And finally, the master teacher agent takes all of that gathered info and assembles it into one cohesive, easy-to-follow curriculum.
So that's what it does, which is amazing. Now let's get into the how, the actual tech behind how this whole thing was built. And this part is really clever. The system uses a multi-model strategy. For the heavy lifting, the deep analysis and planning stages, it uses Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is a beast when it comes to critical reasoning. But for that final step, synthesizing it all into a curriculum, it switches over to the faster, more efficient Gemini 2.5 Flash. This gives you the best of both worlds, really deep thinking combined with lightning-fast delivery.
And here are some of the other key technical features that make this agent so powerful. A multi-agent system means you've got a team of specialists working for you, not one generalist AI trying to do everything. Using parallel agents for research, that just dramatically speeds up the whole process. By creating this pipeline of specialized agents, we've built a scalable and genuinely intelligent learning assistant.
So let's just zoom out for a second. What does all of this really mean for us?
Well, it points to a very different future for learning. And this right here, this is the key takeaway. Systems like the C.O.D.E agent, they represent a huge shift away from just finding answers. This is about structuring knowledge. It's about turning the absolute chaos of the internet into a clear, actionable path that anyone can walk down.
What complex skill would you ask it to teach you first?
Demo of the agent is here.